And we are back. What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Your guys, Cody and Derek, back for another episode, guys. Hey, we are doing Hot Takes Part 2. We are looking at your hot takes. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our reaction to 5 hot takes from Twitter that we did already, or X, depending what you call it. But we're going to do 5 more from the same platform. Like we said, guys, we had a ton. So this is going to be something where we break it down into some bite-sized, manageable takes. We're going to be doing this over the course of the summer. So hope you guys will be a part of that. But we're going to break down Twitter because we got like 40 or 50 of them. So we're going to be breaking it down for a couple more episodes. But yeah, we're going to start here. We have 5, I believe, again, that we're going to do today. So without further ado, Derek, take it away with the first hot take.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This time for part 2, 5 more of your very own hot takes, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Let me actually go ahead and find the one that had this one. But yeah, here we go. So, first hot take of the episode, Cody. The Colts will have a top 5 offense and will have 2 games of 50-plus points.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Now,
dude.
I don't even know. I don't know how many teams actually scored 50 points last year. I think a couple did, but I'll say this. I think the first one is not insanely far-fetched. Now, the second part there, I doubt that. I very much doubt that. That's a very big hot take.
Yeah, no, I would listen to top 5 offense if everybody stays healthy. I would listen to that. But yeah, if you get one game over 50 points, Derek, that's a freaking miracle. Like, that's awesome, right? But 2, whoo, man, he must be thinking Anthony Richardson's going to be like right there with Patrick Mahomes, I think. But regardless of that, yeah, I mean, I think definitely the Colts have that potential, man, to be a top 5 offense, especially, like I said, if everybody can stay healthy, if AR can take the next step in his development, and obviously if some of the receivers, are as advertised, if Josh Downs, Michael Pittman pick up where they left off, and, we see a little bit more of Alec Pierce down the field, we see Adonai Mitchell, we see Jelani Woods, the offensive line is still a top unit. I mean, I think on paper, Derek, this team has the talent to potentially be a top 5 offense. Now, will it? That's another question. Obviously, there's a lot of factors into that, but I definitely think the talent is there for that to be a potential reality.
All right. Well, I do want to say this. So let's just kind of talk about this, folks, about how realistic or unrealistic this is. Okay. So I'm looking at this on StatMuse. Let me know if this is right or wrong, because I'm pretty sure it's right, but maybe something's missing. But there has been 7 instances since 2007 in which a team has scored 50-plus points 2 or more times in a season. Okay, so 2007, the Patriots did it twice. In 2012, the Patriots did it twice. In 2012, the Seahawks did it twice. And then the Packers in 2014 did it twice. The Patriots in 2021 did it twice. And then the Cowboys in 2021 did it twice. Now, the only time that it has been done 3 times in the modern era was 2013 with the Denver Broncos. Now, obviously, we remember that was the year in which Peyton Manning set the NFL afire and was just had that the 5,500 passing yards and 50 touchdowns, and Peyton Manning looked like the best version of himself that year. So it's only been done 8 times since, or only done 7 times, I'm sorry, since basically the turn of the century. So, it's not likely, but it has been done in recent memory. Even the turn of the decade, it has been done twice. So, I mean, it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's very possible. Let me see if I can find again who tweeted that, because that is a very big hot take. That's a very very stat driven one there, honestly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I cannot find it for the life of me. You'll know who you are, because obviously. Oh, here it is. Number 19 at Len Smith on Twitter. So thank you, Len Smith, for that tweet. If the Colts score 50 plus points in a game even once, I'll be a happy man.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Second hot take. Richardson for MVP.
Oh,
what do you think, Cody? Hot take or not hot take?
Oh, hot take. We haven't even seen him play a full 17-game season, Derek.
We haven't seen him. We haven't even seen him complete a whole game yet, almost.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, we talked about like potential's off the roof, but I can't go there. I just can't, because Patrick Mahomes exists, right? Lamar Jackson exists. Like, some of these guys that have been the MVP before, they're still very much in their prime, right? And they're coming off very good seasons themselves. So it's hard for me to just say Anthony Richardson MVP. I love the energy, though. I mean, if AR is the MVP, I mean, I will eat my words gladly, but it's just hard for me to say that based off of the small sample size we've had. He just needs to worry about being healthy first. That's kind of how I view it. Because like if he can play 17 games, then we'll start having the MVP talk a little bit. If he can start to show some of that stuff he showed in the games he did play. But I appreciate it. But for me, it's probably a little bit too spicy for me.
Yeah, I'm just hoping he wins Comeback Player of the Year. If he wins Comeback Player of the Year, then I would be happy with that. So, yeah, that is definitely a lot, and that was something that quite a few people commented on that status. So that kind of just encompasses that in total to everyone that posted that. Go right ahead. Okay, the next hot take, third one of the video. This one's gonna ruffle some feathers here.
Oh boy.
Will Mallory or Drew Ogletree won't make the 53-man roster.
Wow. Okay.
So one of these guys not gonna make it. Now, Cody, I would say it seems far-fetched. But remember, Jelani Woods coming back. So
yeah.
Maybe that isn't as much of a hot take as maybe we would like it to be.
Yeah, and whether or not we agree with it, Mo Alley-Cox has been on this roster. He still continues to be on this roster, and I guess he's trusted. He has to be at this point. So as much as I would like to say, get him off the roster, replace him with one of these young guys, I don't think it's the craziest take in the world. I don't think it's the craziest thing. Now, if I was choosing one, I'd probably say Drew Ogletree, because I think Will Mallory showed you probably a few more flashes. I don't know how you feel about that, but I would probably go that direction. But I do think both of them do make the roster. I do think they both make the roster. I mean, to me, Derek, Will Mallory's different. Will Mallory's different to me.
So
yeah, I would keep Will Mallory. Yeah.
Okay, so you're keeping Will Mallory. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Because he fastest tight end out of the draft last year, and I feel like he showed you he's younger, and I think he just showed you some more flashes. I mean, Ogletree showed a few flashes, don't get me wrong, but I just personally feel like a player like Will Mallory, just kind of a little bit of a different skill set, and I think that's helpful for your roster. So I think he's a guy that in spurts when he was targeted, he made plays. So I'd probably choose Will Mallory if I'm choosing one, but I do think, Derek, both of them make the roster, to be honest with you, but could be wrong.
I don't know, man. I kind of like Drew Ogletree, man. And honestly, I think Drew Ogletree might be a better selection because Drew Ogletree's bigger, and that helps with blocking aspects. Now, like you said, they're two different types of players. Ogletree may not quite be as fast, but he's just as athletic from a standpoint of being able to catch the football Will Mallory is the faster guy and he's the better route technician. But in the red zone, Drew Ogletree thrives. He had a lot of great plays in the red zone last year. So I can't necessarily sit here and say that I agree with that. But I mean, again, like you said, here's the thing. So you have 5 tight ends, right? You have 5 tight ends. You have Jelani Woods. You have Mo Alley-Cox. You have Kylan Granson. You have Will Mallory. You have Drew Ogletree. Now, I mean, that's the big question. Which one of these guys is getting the block? Because, right. And that's a great video. That's honestly something we should talk about at some point, Cody, because like, who does get the block? Honestly, you can't keep 5 tight ends on the roster. You can't. I mean, one of these guys you may try to put, and I don't even know if you could put any of these guys on the practice squad. I don't know if there's because if you put any of these guys on the practice squad, at some point, somebody's going to try and come over and start trying to bring somebody over from that practice squad because you have so many good tight ends. Even I would argue, Cody, that maybe, in my honest and humble opinion, I think the one guy that might find himself the odd man out is Kylan Granson. As much as I don't want to believe it, but I mean, he wasn't a Shane Steichen pick, and obviously, but I mean, Ogletree wasn't either.
Neither was Jelani Woods. Not a lot of them weren't.
Well, I get that, but Jelani's different in the fact that Jelani has much higher upside. We haven't seen the upside of Jelani Woods yet. We think that Jelani has the potential to be one of the best tight ends in the league if he stays healthy. And then, like you said, with Mo Alley-Cox, as much as I hate that he's not the one being cut, he's getting paid. He's going to be on this roster. And then with Will Mallory, I think Shane Steichen has other things planned for Will Mallory. And Drew Ogletree, we saw last year what that guy could do with Gardner Minshew. I mean, Kylan Granson just was one of the few guys that never really sprung out anywhere. I don't know if that was just because it had to do with Anthony Richardson or if it had to do with, because Gardner Minshew didn't make a ton of throws to Kylan Granson throughout the year. I don't know if that was by design or not, but hey, listen, that's a great conversation to have.
Yeah. And I think we're going to disagree on it. We're going to disagree on it because I personally don't think Ogletree is as good as you think he is. I think he's more of the same of what you already have on your roster, while as Kylan Granson, Will Mallory, they're different. They're different types of players. And I don't need another 6'5" tight end.
They're route runners.
I don't need another 6'5" tight end. Like, I already have a 6'7" and a 6'6".
Yeah, you already have a 6'8" and a 6'7", so
I don't need, I guess, for me, he's shown flashes, but to me, I would rather go with some other guys that I feel like are more reliable to me. And, when you're talking about, the draft picks, I think, honestly, you kind of debunked your argument because Will Mallory was a Shane Steichen pick, right? So that's a factor as well. So I know we'll say
that's what I'm saying is I don't that's why I don't think Will Mallory is that's why I don't think Will Mallory would go. Like I said, I would take Drew Ogletree over Will Mallory, but I wouldn't necessarily say that Will Mallory is a guy that's not going to make the 53 man. I still think Will Mallory makes it because, like you said, he is a Shane Steichen pick. So
yeah,
that makes a big difference.
Not, and he's never had a big volume. He never has. Kylan Granson, you can say what you want about him, but the dude had 50 targets last year. So I'm not just cutting him, I don't think that's wise. So again, we'll talk about that later.
Such a weird predicament. You have so many good tight ends on this roster. It's insane.
Yeah, you just got to figure out who actually is going to fulfill that potential because a lot of potential right now, not a lot of answers. So yeah, definitely. All right, let's continue.
All right, let's continue on. That'll be a video for another day. All right, next one. The Colts sweep the AFC South.
We already know what we're going to say about this. You can't. You haven't won in Jacksonville.
This is like saying there was like a thermometer in the room and the mercury is trying to bust out of the thermometer right now. Like, honestly, like there is no shot of this happening.
The AFC South has two other teams that are playoff teams, essentially, right?
And like even a third one potentially, if you want to even say if the Titans are better than advertised. I mean, honestly.
It's no joke. Like, there's a legit talent in the AFC South. So I don't think there's going to be a sweep of the AFC South. I don't. I think it's going to be very competitive, but it's going to be back and forth. It's going to be back. It really is. Like, so the Texans they obviously ascended this last year. Jacksonville, while they definitely faltered down the stretch, they've still got talent. They've still got some things that they can do well on their roster, and they retooled it in certain ways. So they're definitely a team you can't just write off. And you talk about Tennessee, say what you want, but like they have a young quarterback and they've added talent this offseason. So that's hard. That's hard to say.
Yep, absolutely. Last one. Here we go. Latu breaks the Colts franchise rookie record for sacks. Now, in case you don't know who the leading sack personnel is for the rookies, the all-time leading rookie sack record for the Colts was Dwight Freeney back in 2002 with 13 sacks.
Wow.
What do you think, Cody? Actually, and which is crazy to this day, that is still tied for third most all time by a rookie.
Wow.
So actually tied with Micah Parsons for third all time. The only two people above Dwight Freeney and Micah Parsons are Alden Smith, who had 14, and Javon Curse, who had 14 and a half his rookie year.
Gosh, let's talk about Alden Smith real quick. What a bummer,
so,
man. What a bummer.
What do you think? Is Latu getting 13 and a half sacks next year? That's basically the question.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I think
no. I'm going to say no.
No? You don't think that's okay?
I'm
so you're saying no, he's not going to break it.
He's not going to break it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had 10, 11 sacks, though. I'm not saying he's not going to do anything. 13's a lot, though. Let's be real. Like, you haven't had a 13 sack guy in a long time.
The issue that I have with it is that Latu's not going to be an every down player, though. That's the thing. Unlike Dwight Freeney, who was the overwhelming starter and rarely ever came out, he was the full-time starter. That was his job. Latu, right. I don't believe is not going to be a 3-down starter. He's most likely going to be second, maybe even third, most likely third downs. But he won't be your traditional first down rusher. He most likely won't. I think Kwity Paye's still going to get that opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. But yeah, there's an opportunity. I'm not saying it's out of, there's no chance. I do think there is a possibility. But 13 sacks is a lot. That's a lot as a rookie. Now, Latu might have the stuff to do it. Latu might have the stuff to do it, though. I mean, he's been so good in college the last couple of years. So, hey, I will want to be proved wrong on this one, but I'm going to say he's just a little bit under 13 for me.
And what was amazing in that year for Dwight Freeney, including those 13 sacks, also had 9 forced fumbles that year as well. So, talk about some insane turnover ratios. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I agree.
It's kind of wild that there's one other player outside of Dwight Freeney that has over 10 sacks, and then the next one is Darius Leonard, Shaq Leonard, in 2018, a linebacker. That's crazy.
Yeah,
he did.
It's not crazy.
Like crazy. He had 7, which is for a linebacker that's a good amount, but that's crazy. Yeah. That's not even like another edge guy in year one. That's kind of wild.
Absolutely. Well, that's it, guys. That's the Colts fans hot takes part 2. Let us know your thoughts, guys, on these hot takes. Do you think any of these are not hot takes? Do you think that they're way too spicy to be a hot take? All of those other things, let us know, guys. Thank you again so much for all the support. We greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts. And as always, guys, go Colts.